I'm going to talk about my family tech ecosystem. iPhone 13 mini here. You have your iPhone 12 here. You've got your Google Pixel 7 Pro here. You have your Nothing Phone 1 here. You've got your iPhone SE second generation 2020 here. And then finally, you have your iPhone 15 Pro here. Now I'm going to talk about something. The iPhone 13 mini, I don't know, for some reason, Apple said they've discontinued the mini. I don't know, but for some reason, there are a whole lot of people out there who love the mini. That, people were not actually patronizing the mini, so they had to discontinue it. But that's Apple for you. But there are a couple of people. So I was just thinking that why can't they just, reduce the production? I don't know what's the cost of the production. We love the iPhone mini in 2023 and you want to go with something like this, I guess you just go with the 6.1 inches iPhones now, maybe the 15, 6.1 inches, 15 Pro, and then, those phones you can go with it. But this phone is cool, it's cool. So my brother uses this as well. That's just because of the size. And then he uses the Google Pixel 7 Pro. This thing runs on the Google Tensor G2 and it's fast. And like my brother, he does research a lot. So anything that has to do with Google document, anything that has to do with document, I think you are better off going with Google. Google Pixel, for instance, serves as a thing for those who want to, be academically productive. So my brother goes with the Google Pixel. 50 megapixel at school. He started with My brother. He started with the Google Pixel 4 and then Pixel 6, and then now he's on the Google Pixel 7 Pro. So that's his own ecosystem, although he balanced it up with the iPhone 13 mini. So this is just for the size. He just love it. He don't necessarily take pictures with this, he just keep it as a backup phone. So that's just it. So I think Google is kind of trying to take over from it was all about Samsung and iPhone, Samsung and Apple, and over time, since the introduction of the Google Pixel 4, Google has kind of taken the marketplace with Samsung. I'm a Samsung man, but recently I'm not really satisfied with their marketing strategy. Samsung still making phones that can last you, they can support you just for 4 years. And then the Pixel 8, 8 Pro is going for the next 7 years of software update. So if you still trying to go for all the Samsung, yeah, I know people have a lot of reasons, but that's just it for now. I have the iPhone 12 here. My sister-in-law uses this. She don't really know about tech, she don't care, but this is a choice. This thing runs on the A14 Bionic chip, and then you have your 12 megapixels here for your daily pictures and videos. It still goes decent. And this was released in 2020 and we are in 2023 right now, so it's not a bad deal for someone using an iPhone 12 in 2023. So Apple has a way of retaining their customers and keeping them updated. So if you're using this in 2023, it's not a bad thing. You still have loads of years, 3-4 years to go with this thing. So she uses this for daily decent pictures and stuff like that. She uses this, so it's not a big deal for this one. So this is just it for my sister-in-law. iPhone SE here in 2020, second generation. I love this thing. When Apple discontinued the iPod, I was kind of looking for alternatives, so I decided that I'll get this, and so far I just love it. Sometimes it's just in my room there, I don't use it, but I just keep it there, so nothing, but I just love the design of the phone and the design of everything about this phone. Anytime I'm holding this in my hand, I just feel like I reflect about the iPod. You can actually go out there, get some second-hand iPod, but you wouldn't be getting those kind of updates. So if you want an iPod or you feel like you miss the iPod and you want to use something, you can just go with something like this, feel the palm and stuff like that. So this runs on the A13 Bionic chipset, and browsing, basic browsing and stuff like that. you are better off going with this thing as well. And if you miss the iPod, I sure guarantee you that you are going to enjoy this thing. And in 2020, it was released and it was the same year as the iPhone 12. And the iPhone 12 runs on the A14 Bionic chipset, so it's just a kind of minor differences. But the camera quality, you cannot really bank on it. But for daily activities like snapping of pictures, just some casual pictures and emergence pictures, let me just say it that way. So you are better with this thing, even in 2023 right now. You can go with this and it's fine, it's cool. And most of all, if you are a fan of the home button, you can go with this thing and trust me, you won't regret it. So that's just it. I'm a tech guy. I use everything. We have got another one here, which is the Nothing Phone one. There is something magical about the Nothing Phone one. I started using this phone in 2022 in October. It was awful using it for the first time, but after a couple of weeks, there were loads of updates pumping in. This thing runs on the Snapdragon 778 Gen Plus and Nothing OS. So there are a whole lot of customization and the Nothing thing. The CEO of Nothing kind of is a fan of Apple, so he tries to replicate in his own way what he loved about Apple, and he tried to get this thing. This one won the Design of the Year from MKBHD videos in 2022. So it's a phone to use. So after loads of updates and software updates and stuff like that, this phone has become, gradually has become my daily driver. I'm a huge fan of new innovation. So I love the Nothing phone. I love everything about the Nothing phone. So this is my daily driver. I chat on this, play music on this, tweet on it, do a whole lot of things on it. So we have our iPhone 15 Pro here. I just got this thing like, 1 week ago, and so far I'm still learning to use some of the features on it. Not learning, but I'm trying to understand some of the things that Apple introduced on this thing, like, trying to get a sense whether it's necessary or not. This thing runs on the A17 Bionic chipset. It's the latest chipset on the iPhone 15 now. So decent camera, you have your 48 megapixel on this thing, and then you have your 120 Hz refresh rate on this thing as well. Talking about the 120 Hz refresh rate, this has 60 Hz refresh rate and then 120 Hz refresh rate as well, but you are able to switch it. So for instance, if you're playing games, you can switch it. Depends on your usage and stuff like that, from 120 hertz to 60 hertz and stuff like that. So after a long time, Apple kind of finally introduced the 120 hertz on this thing. I was a bit bothered that why, but now there's here. And then there is something so unique about mobile phones now. I think there is a kind of inclusion. Recently, you have your USB-C here, you have your USB-C here, you have your USB-C here. And there is a promise of 7 years of software update on this thing. So that's what Apple is going to do in the near coming future. The same thing, there is a promise of 7 years software updates on the Google Pixel. Talking about the software, I'm a Samsung man, but for some reason recently I think I'm not really comfortable with what Samsung is doing. Like, look at Google, for example, 7 years promise of software updates. And then look at Apple, 7 years promise of software updates. So what's up, Samsung? So these are just the thing, in 2023 and recently with the saturation of the media, social media, and smartphones going above 1,000. Like, it's funny when you pay a whole lot of money for a smartphone and then it's running you for just 5 years. It should be your choice when you destroy it yourself. But saying software update for just 4 5 years, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I think Samsung need to to step up their game in terms of software. I think the cameras are good. They have good camera, decent cameras, decent videos shooting in 4K, 1080p and stuff like that. But I think in terms of software, I think they need to step up their game in terms of so that will make a whole lot of people. I know there are people out there who don't really know or don't care about all of this thing, but there are still a whole lot of people that it matters. So when you see the market flowing to one side to another side, I think recently there are a whole lot of market progression for the Google Pixel. 3 years ago, the Google Pixel was not really a thing, but now with the introduction of, I think from I've used the Google Pixel 4, and I can, testify that the cameras on the Google Pixel are decent. If you want to take like professional photos on, the Google Pixel, you are way, way ahead of, the game. And then if you want to make quality videos, you are going with the iPhone 15 and the iPhones. And I can argue that the Scary Fast event of October 30 was shot on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And you can argue that because I've used this phone to shoot in 4K 30 and 4K 60 and stuff like that. So they've got a whole lot of decent quality, decent camera qualities and stuff like that. So it's the way to go, in terms of videos. You can argue and go with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And then in terms of the camera, you can always go with the Google Pixel. So that's just it for, the Google Pixel thing and the iPhone. It's kind of, Samsung seems to be, be losing out of sight recently. I've seen people with more Google Pixel phones now than 3 years ago. So it's kind of, there's a market, direction and stuff like that. It's more like we've grown past that level now. A whole lot of people, you feel like it's not necessarily a big deal, but most people now, to get a flagship phone, you are talking about 800 quid, which is a whole lot of money. So why can't they just introduce, I just feel Samsung should, Google has started the lead, Apple has followed it, and they know, I just feel that Samsung will do the same thing as well. So we have a combined ecosystem here. You have Snapdragon here, you have a A17 Bionic chipset, you have your Google Tensor G2, and that's just it. So in our family, we have loads of iPhones, 4 iPhones, iPhone 15 Pro, iPhone 12, iPhone 13 mini, and iPhone SE 2020, which is my baby. But one thing I'm not letting go is this. I love the Nothing Phone innovation. I really love the Nothing Phone innovation. So even if I'm leaving this, I'm going to the Nothing Phone 2, possibly Nothing Phone 3, and like that. But this is my daily driver. If you are not using the, I think just for argument's sake, I think you should just have a feel of what this phone looks like. When I'm using this phone and then I try to compare this to this, I've kind of almost the same experience. But yes, of course, the iPhone is the iPhone. I don't know what kind of magic they do, but the iPhone still remain the iPhone. So that's just it for my family tech. I use, I'm a tech man. Sometimes I just go with the flow. Sometimes, but I love Android. Take your take down. Are you the team Pixel? Are you the team Google Pixel? Are you the team Nothing? Are you the team iPhone? What phone do you use, or what kind of ecosystem are you into? And then that's just it for my family ecosystem. I hope you love the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye bye. Bye bye.